mangy dogs. Swab the decks and hoist the sails. The guns on board be needing some proper manning. Pieces of 8 and a fine wench on your arm, if your work be not too shoddy. Careful not to flounder too badly, though, or you may have to dance the hempen jig as we see you to Davy Jones. Jeffy, my boy, on with the show.
Welcome, everybody, friends, folks, foes, and fellow pirate mateys, to this week's latest installment of Pirate Radio Podcasts, episode number 172, with Aussie Rob coming to us courtesy of Infowars China. I am your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. So, yeah, just before we turn our sights to Rob, though, let's not forget to remind people out there listening to drop by WPRPN.com. Check out this month's feature show schedule, along with consider signing up for free. It's really as simple as that. The standard email and password type approach, username, there you go. Of course, we've got a news show coming up this coming Tuesday as well, too. And if there's any questions anyone has, if this is the first time that they've actually dropped by and been a part of things, simply check out the show description area, the links we have available via the YouTube feature link region on your, hopefully, computer screen is where you're viewing us now, unless you're joining us through Facebook or DLIVE, and be able to answer all the questions you need to have addressed. Our email is pirate1radio@protonmail.com. Of course, WPRPN. It is the People's Pirate Network, so without your support, we're not able to, of course, grow and do what we can to any further manage to come to life. So, of course, we have the Patreon. We have Patreon. We also have the Teespring link available there now, too, with the merchandise. If people want to help us out with purchase of T-shirts or coffee mugs, we got a pair of ladies' leggings available. We're looking for people who are able to help out with creative design, various artistic ideas and so forth, respect to merchandise, marketing, sales, the whole bit. As far as just use your imagination, folks. There's a lot to be done when it comes to, well, even things such as cosplay. I'm not sure about LARPing exactly. That might work a little bit too, I suppose. But anyways, we got Pirate Joe on hand here again this week. He's down there, not quite in the engine room, but Joe, you want to jump in there just before you? Where are you exactly right now? What are you're mixing something up down?
I'm heading for sick bay, and I just want to make sure that the ether and laudanum are still available if we're going into battle.
Absolutely. Well, those are two musts, of course, indeed. I'm not sure if there's going to be much, if we're going to have action of that sort here this week or not. Hopefully, we don't have to deal with that sort of thing. You just never know, of course. Endless number of surprises we have coming our way here, as you've probably realized by now. You just never know what's going to be popping up next or coming our way here, of course, either. So, Okay, well, you do your thing there. Make your way back down over to sick bay and get on top of that, and we'll maybe bring him back into the conversation a little later. In the meantime, yeah, Aussie Rob from out of Australia, of course, and I'm not sure if it's Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney.
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah. So, Rob, Infowars China, we have a bit of a bio here for you as well, too. But partly just to be clear that you say, courtesy of Facebook, waging war on corruption, crushing through the lies and disinformation, not affiliated with Alex Jones Infowars, not officially representing Infowars.com in any shape or form. I guess, how long is this? Well, this project itself, I know you've told me a little bit here behind the scenes, and I'm not sure if you're vaping or what exactly the deal is there, but if you're going to be doing that or eating food during the show, Rob, you might want to be muting yourself out there too, of course, because it comes through in a big way if you don't do that.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just listening to you.
Oh, I thought you maybe like doing a little vaping or something.
No. I'm just listening to you.
Okay. Well, I could take care of things from this end then. Just so don't. I guess I'll have to stay on top of that as we proceed here. But what? Yeah. So the whole Infowars thing. How did it come about? And I guess you did hear from Infowars out of Austin, Texas, and they were none too pleased as to your what you were pursuing in a similar way.
Yeah. Okay. I just I never done this before. I'm just filling for a mate here.
That's right.
And, so I'm just really gonna just tell you the truth from the start to the end.
Let's start there. Exactly. That's right. He was this kind of super soldier character that we had booked, we had thought, and then he's suddenly fallen off the radar. Why don't we start there? In fact, back things up even a little bit further for listeners.
Yeah, he's one day I was just stumbled on the internet and I got onto this page. One of my Facebook friend is satanic ritual abuse victim, long-time victim who come forward, which you might know her. Her name is Fiona Barnett, and she wrote a book recently just released, and then it's called Eyes Wide Open by Fiona Barnett, okay? And when I stumbled on her site, I saw this elite cricketer, super soldier, like he's in trouble in Australia. And I just went on and searched about him, have a listen about he and Miles Johnson's a conversation interview. And then I just start contacting him on Facebook and offer help, And what happened is his name is Aaron Wesley Crawford. And he is an elite cricketer. In Australia they play two kind of sport: Aussie football, Aussie rules football.
Cricket, sure, of course.
Yeah, like American football. No, not really like American football, but like we just go there to watch the fights. But anyway, in summer they do the cricket. Yeah, and he's an elite cricketer. What happened is he has a very successful company for 5 years, and it's a health food and organic food company. And then within those time, okay, and someone went to his bank, Westpac. His bank is a Westpac Banking Corp, which recently in Australia got in trouble with the child sex offenders money laundering in the bank. And so he found many these transactions done by someone went to the WestPac banking group, asked for signatory sort of like a position or account, signatory. So someone's been transferring millions of dollars. Okay, he went to the law and told them, and guess what? They locked him and his partner up. His partner right now is still in jail, okay? And then in Western Australia, in Perth, okay? The capital city of Western Australia. So what happened is they chuck him in jail, and he played up, and he's not cooperating. He want to flip up. So they put him in the mental asylum. And they start drugging him. And then he got bail. He came out. And then he was on James, I forgot his name. He's always doing elite super soldier stories.
James Corbett? Yeah.
And he interviewed him already once. And then I just start offering help and try to get him onto more shows. And then that's how I came to you. Remember?
Well, yeah, but you and I had actually already crossed paths before that via Facebook.
That's right.
So yeah.
Yeah, Facebook. That's right. Yeah. So I tried to get him onto your show, and then Max Egan show, and like a Robert Morningstar show, and a lot of shows. And then when the time came, you told me you got a slot for him, which is tonight, and then few weeks before today, I start contacting him, and he start ignoring me. But his Facebook light is always online, the green light, So I don't get it, I say. Finally at the end, I say, if you're not gonna, get back to me, if you treat me as a friend, please get back to me somehow. You don't want to talk to me, that's fine, whatever. Nothing. And we tried to look for him. Me and James tried to look for him. Couldn't find him. We both suspect they grabbed him again and put him back into a prison or remand center or whatever. We don't know. We just don't know. That's how I come to filming my show. Your show.
Well,
like
but Rob, who then is Jen?
Who?
You said me and Jen.
James. Sorry. Excuse my English.
Who's who's James?
James is a guy that always does the Super Soldier show. Let me see.
James Corbett.
Yeah. I think it is James Corbett, is it?
The bald guy living in Japan?
Sorry. Wrong. It's James Ring.
James Ring. I don't know. No, never.
He's a very young guy. Very young guy.
I see. Well, anyways, yeah, so that's the way things have played out here to this point. Just to let listeners know once again, Aaron Crawford, where are you? Maybe our listeners can take some time themselves, if this story in any way interests them, and do what they can to help track him down, especially if they are based out of Australia. That would probably be the best way of doing things, ultimately, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, it's great. If anyone in Australia can, like in Western Australia, especially in Perth, can, just try to just Google him and have a look,
Okay,
what do you want to do,
but hang on. So here, and the thing on top of that, doesn't he have something of a history as far as, why did I have it in my head he was some sort of like super soldier type character? Was I mistaken?
Because his first interview with Miles Johnson, BBC. Here, Miles Johnson is the guy founder of the Base Project.
Oh, right. Okay.
You know, all the Michael Prince, James Casbar, you know, the old days. Yeah, all of them, you know, like Max Spear, you know, all of them. They all interview with Miles Johnson first, and then they go to Carrie Cassidy, Project Camelot. You know, this for Super Soldier, you know, like Miles Johnson is like a specialist just because he interviewed many, you know, Super Soldier before. Yeah.
So, Aaron Crawford, I'm just trying to think what the best. There's two. I mean, he could be just simply ignoring you. That's possible. But the thing about it, we tried to contact him as well too. After we thought that we had him booked, I'd have to go back and see what the exact messages were here. But you know, that was the deal. Because we had talked before Christmas. The three of us were in that one little chat group there on Facebook. Right. So this is going to be interesting. I think what we mostly need, though, are people in Australia, as well as why would his light be on and showing a green status? He's not updating his Facebook, is what I can tell. Or is he?
No, he haven't updated since Christmas. I saw the last photo he put out is for his mom in his kitchen.
Okay. Yeah. So, but here's the important question as well. Why was he?
Why is he ignoring everyone?
No. Hang on just a second. Why did he actually show you physical? Did you actually get your hands on documents, or did he circulate documents? Did he publish documents? Is that why was he locked up in an insane asylum? Was he just making all this up or not?
Well, you know, like I haven't got the chance to look into further because that's all I took up to, you know. I try to help him.
Okay, so maybe he was making all of this up then. There was no physical proof of anything, no documents.
Well, there is document. Yeah, he has shown me and both show on the Miles Johnson show and James Ring show, and the other one is Robert Morningstar's show. He also showed all those bank transactions.
And the reason he was able to, that this information came into his hands, this elite cricketer who
I don't think MK Ultra is his like a main thing, you know. He's basically, it's just a elite cricketer doing, you know, like helpful successful helpful company, and then just this happened to him. Maybe he's within the family line. They think it's okay to it's okay to stir with him, or just it's okay to just use him and use his account for the transaction. If anything come up, we just put him away. I never know. Maybe he's not. Maybe he could be fake, or I don't know. At this moment, I don't know. But all I know is he went through two, like a mainstream, alternative media shows already, you know, and putting statements all out there, you know, because if I really want to end my career or whatever in WA with the WA police, you know, I would do that, you know, just say, look, the Westpac Banking Corp is doing this to me, and this money could be doing could be those pedophiles transactions, you know. And then he wanted to speak out more and give all the evidence. And plus, Royal Commission is right now on for all this banking, insurance, corrupt stuff, you know. So this is perfect timing. That's why I try to get him on as many shows as possible. So let him speak out, you know. Let everyone judge. You know, you make your own mind for what he is, because I reckon he's pretty genuine. You know?
Pretty genuine, pretty legit, and maybe that could be the problem, that some people out there do not want this story to be known to the public, just as what we saw with Epstein. In fact, there could be an Epstein connection, because what we're talking about here is some sort of money, illicit money transfers that are linked to human sex trafficking. Is that right? And
child sex trafficking.
Child. Now, what a child? We're talking just like from infant up to whatever, 13, 14.
You know, right now the major
males,
major
females,
yeah.
Okay. That's it. Well, no, that's really. Go ahead, like lay it out there for us.
Oh no, I was just saying, all these. I don't think they will, really let you open and dissect on the grand jury, kind of court case.
Look what happened to Epstein. He didn't last too long, did he?
No.
That trial doesn't seem to be going too many places at the moment. It's kind of.
And when Fiona Barnett said, Royal Commissions is just there to wrap up, and keep an eye on, keep the case contained,
Right.
So don't let any more come out, but we will punish the one already scapegoat, So I think that will happen, but the major ones like George Pale and all that, is not gonna, let us know anything that we don't already know.
George, is this like the new Prime Minister of Australia? I have no idea. I don't really follow.
George Pell is the second man in Vatican and keep charge of the Vatican Bank.
Oh, and
George Pell. Yeah.
Spell his last name. Can you spell that for us, please?
P-E-L-L. George Pell.
Pell. George Pell. I see. How about that?
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that something? So all roads lead to Rome. Unfortunately, especially when it comes to the child sex trafficking and all that dirty miscellaneous other business that goes along with it. So, but they are being exposed and they are being outed, and they're scurrying and scrambling like the dirty bilge rats that they are. So well, what can you do?
Absolutely.
Just and we're here just kind of spectators, really, who are, I suppose, in some ways further drawing people's attention to the fact that why aren't these issues being reported on? Why isn't someone such as Aaron, his story being taken a little more seriously, at least having what he's talking about being investigated? I mean, we can only go so far as journalists ourselves here, and where we got to pass the ball on to the real, like the professionals, like the high. But that's the problem, is that they're, as with Epstein and many other examples, they're the gatekeepers, and they're not the whistleblowers. That's for damn sure. They're the gatekeepers. All too many instances, unfortunately, establishment media, establishment press. And it's really a bad joke at this stage of the game, unfortunately. And that's why they're trying to come down so hard on alternative outlets such as ourselves, which are, free-flowing. There's no real censorship to speak of, other than you have that one complimentary adult F-bomb every guest, right? Along the course of each.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I stocked up already.
Well, anything more than that, of course, is 10 doubloons to the pirate potty mouth jar. Let's shift the focus in a little bit to and we should. Yeah, we should get some websites out too, just with respect to Aaron Crawford, or maybe people can just, with that web search, do the name search. You've presented enough information out there.
Can I? Is it okay? Can I give you the link? Now as we speak.
Yeah, give us more if there's anything more on Aaron's behalf, to have his voice heard, because this is the thing. This is what gets me personally, philosophically, when people are silenced. They're grabbed or kidnapped or whatever the case is, and there's some pretty awful things that happen to people at all various different levels and all forms and capacities. And if we don't have the ability to resist or push back or hold these bastards accountable, that's a problem. So I guess that's why you regard yourself something as a galactic emissary of light.
Oh no! Even with my pen name, okay, Hasegawa Soujiro. I initially done it just to piss Zuckerberg off. In case one day he tried to come after me. Give him the run around a bit. I know it doesn't work. Or, it's not going to work. They know everything. They got every information anyway. But it doesn't matter. I still want to give them a runaround.
All right. So was that it? Was there anything more that you're going to say as far as Aaron, his story? And
Aaron spells ARRON.
Right. Aaron Crawford.
I gave you the link already. I gave you his Facebook link, and then once you scroll down, you can see his last post. And
right.
Other people are looking for him too. Try to talk to him.
Well,
like James Ring said, does anyone know where Aaron is? He is not responding to my messages.
And if he has been forcibly kidnapped by the state, that the world needs to know this, obviously. And if he's just been kidnapped by anybody, the world also needs to know that. And if he's just feeding us a line of BS, and he's just maybe not as much of a straight shooter and just more of someone who's a disinfo fabricator, then the world needs to know that too, I suppose, right? So, but it's really up to people out there to see what they can to help spread the word and get the links shared around, and the truth will out eventually here, I would imagine. So we'll see.
So you want me to tell you about the Infowars stuff?
Yeah, there was something else I was going to ask you about, but you go ahead and
no, go ahead.
I can't. No, I can't. Well, there's something else I had in mind, but we'll come back to that. It's just kind of
lost it.
Seniors moment. Yeah, it does happen from time to time here. So, but that's fine. Infowars China. I love it. There's and especially the fact that you got under you managed to trigger Alex Jones. It's hilarious. It's like, why hasn't he done this himself? I don't understand. With his name, the branding and everything. So where's that stand presently? How did it all, what was his response to you putting that out there? And in fact, speaking of being triggered, you really, he made some statement one day on the air and it really rubbed you the wrong way. Is that not the case?
Yep. He called the Chinese a yellow bastards.
Those yellow Chinese bastards.
No, just yellow bastards.
Those Chinese, they're yellow bastards. That's what.
Yeah, like that. It flipped out. I listened to him. I'm a hardcore listener for 5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And I never miss a show, And I'm a little bit crazy too because. When I drive out, I like to put my music up loud. But this time, it's Alex Jones loud, It's so loud that, the police have to come and shut me down, tell me to turn it off or fuck off or, I'm so sorry.
10 doubloons. Okay, I think we got Pirate Joe down there. I'm not sure who's doing the math on this one.
No. He doesn't. Oh,
sorry, Joe.
This one was free.
Yeah.
He didn't finish the F. He got the F in there, and then he stopped. He caught himself.
Right. We'll have to
count this as his first one.
We'll work that. We'll work it.
Slide.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so
Playback.
much. But $10 in Australian dollars, yeah, not in American dollars.
No, 10 doubloons in pirate currency. My man, matey.
Yeah.
And the one thing I know now that does remind me, I was going to ask you was a pirate story, but we'll say it. Don't let us forget because this is critical stuff. We'll be asking you something about because to gain admission onto our ship, which we have long ago now christened the Robin Hood, that you are, as a guest, in accordance with the ship's articles, Captain Long John Sinclair, of course, that, some sort of pirate angle, a story, a joke, a riddle, anything, you know, trivia-wise, pop culture-wise. So why don't we save that till after do you want to go into the Alex Jones thing, or deal with the pirate business first and then circle back to Infowars origins?
I deal with the pirate business first. Okay. My partner, she is Vietnamese, and I'm Chinese. I'm pure Chinese from mainland China.
One of those yellow Chinese bastards.
Yeah, one of those.
I can understand if he would have said those commie Chinese or something but that's like yellow. I mean, and was he Joe? And the thing is, like, Alex, was it some sort of? You understand how comedy works, of course, too, and people do things just to get a reaction.
It's not that. I'll get all that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, let me finish. Let me finish the pirate thing first.
Sure.
It's a real story. Her father fought in the Vietnam War, is a U.S. Army captain, you know, but on the Vietnamese side, you know. So you know how they have a U.S. Army, you know, you have your Army in colors, you know, and they always go be the cannon fodder, you know, and then you also have Vietnamese soldiers fighting for the U.S. on U.S. side, on the south side, you know, to the Viet Congs, you know. And her father is an army captain, and when Vietnam was caving in, you know, the Americans was caving in, they gotta escape, and they tried so many times, and it didn't work. And very last time, she was 2 years old, and just her mother and her tried to take the boat to Singapore, you know, and then they, in the middle of the way, they bump into the pirates, and the pirates want to rob everyone quickly and let them go too, you know. It's like, you know, like pay up, and then I won't hurt you, you know, kind of thing. And then she wouldn't stop crying, you know, and then they were gonna dump her into the water, you know. And somehow her mom just grabbed her and hugged her, and then stayed in the corner and ready to get, you know, stabbed or killed or whatever, you know. But I'm not going to let you drop my baby into the water, you know. So that happened, and that's it. That's my pirate story. Sorry.
That's cool. Yeah. No, I'm the captain. Actually, we're just getting a message here in one of our earpieces that we have here, and yeah, that does get the sign and signal of approval, green light on that one. So there we go. That's something, isn't it? And that was all during the Vietnam War, correct?
Yeah, just at the end of the war, when all of them escaping to the abroad.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. We got a lot in Canada, a lot of Vietnamese refugees back in the day, and that's the sort of thing where I can genuinely, I don't know if you see a similar thing taking place now out of the Middle East. It's the same bullshit. It's the same bullshit though, over and over again. Yeah, people just that the war machine with you know Vietnam and you know the order out of chaos, and what happens like, well, we went in there and just totally you know, generate a lot of chaos. Now here, Canada, take all these refugees, so maybe you can try to establish a little order. These days, of course, it's here, Canada, take all these radical, you know, these third world, these Muslims radicalized in all too many cases, and see if you can. Good luck bringing about a little order out of that chaos. So, oh boy, that's just it. Just what's next? Who you know? Who knows? So, but yeah.
Well, what's next? Maybe no, maybe after, because I know if I say China is next, you're gonna tell me to go on about coronavirus.
Well, no, we are. I do want to talk about that before you leave today, for sure. And the show, I'm not sure if you know, we've got about another hour or so, approximately.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll start with the Infowars.
There you go.
Okay?
Thank you.
When 7 years ago, I was managing our own company, our own family company in Australia, doing consulting business for both Chinese and Australian government and the top 100, mega corporations. Vice versa, they both want to set up shops in both countries. Back then, it was 20 years ago. It was just the start of the mining boom, And what do you call it? I got sick, and one day I just couldn't get up. I wake up, I couldn't get up. And later, I was hospitalized for almost half to 1 year because I got a bad infection in the the bottom of my spine, So I'm kind of disabled, and all of a sudden, I got a lot of ambles of time, on my hand. Got nothing to do, And it's not like all the nurses are pretty in the hospital. So I start surfing online, and then I stumble onto 3 pieces of material that I can say initially wake me up. The first one is Esoteric Agenda on YouTube by Ben Stewart. The second one is Endgame by Alex Jones. And third one is Wespina's Papers, That's how I start with Alex Jones, And then I start listening and just love his rant every day, And then I don't even care. I was online arguing with, people, trolls, whatever, and I was defending him and Infowars, One day he said, I don't care, I don't want to be the, leader or pedestal or whatever, but I want everyone, if you can go out and start your own Infowars, and be your own, leaders or, all that, and I took up that and then started my own Infowars China, And that time I was following him hardcore, like everyone else, like everyone in the Infowars office, Chikari Jackson, John Brown, Rob Du, I know most of them, especially Biggs, Of course, not very close, just Facebook friend, but sometimes, out of all the thousands of requests and comments, and one of them can talk to you for, for a conversation, a little chat, it's a lot of time appreciated already, That's how I know a lot of the inside stories in the Infowars back office, what he's like, and all that. He never talk about Zionists. Everyone knows, okay? Everyone knows, okay? And all of us talk about Zionists, okay? We all end up with on the blacklist, ADL's blacklist, who's been, anti-Semitic or whatever, He never want to talk about Zionists. That's I can hack that, but not for long. So one day you got to talk about it because we all know they are behind everything, Of course, we're not talking about the Jewish. The Jewish folks are the good people, The Israeli people are the good people, but it's the top, the political Zionism cult, if you want to call it Shabbat, or if you want to call it, like David Icke say, what do you call it, Franco? Shabbazian.
Yeah.
Franco.
Sabotage Zevi. Sabotage Zevi.
Yeah.
And
That's right,
1666. The Jewish
exactly.
Antichrist, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter, to me, because he doesn't talk about it. explained to myself, maybe he have reasons that he can't talk about it right now, So we're just waiting, and half of his hardcore listeners are all awake to the next level, because there's a couple levels. First, the world government, the corrupt human, the bloodlines, and then there's next level up, behind the black ops, and then there's the top level, which is the ET stuff, behind everything else. So a lot of hardcore listeners want him to talk about ET, UFOs, and all that stuff, and New Age stuff, and a lot of them want him to talk about Zionism, and then while we're waiting, and then time go on, and then he started ranting about China, I'm telling you, as a patriot, alongside him, listening him talking about the Chinese, doesn't matter. I know he's not talking about the Chinese people. I know he's talking about the CCP on top. But still, who is the CCP? Who is the government? It's still the Chinese people, So he started talking about Chinese. I start getting, this hair crawling on my back, this unnerved feelings, So I start writing to him, I say, no, that's not right, You just say, the CCP government can you randomly go on the street and grab all the monks, grab all the Christians, and take them to prison? No, that's not really the case, because I was born in Shanghai. I know what's like over there.
They do, well, but you didn't spend much time in Tibet, though, did you?
No. I know. Cruel stuff has happened. Okay, and they are all done by people. People done the. For example, the provincial government. The provincial government in China is like a king in his own location, you know what I mean? So the Beijing stuff, he can listen, he might not want to listen, He can do whatever he wants, So there's a lot of corruption, a bad, just evil people, holding that position, the top position, like a party leader or whatever, over there, and they're doing wrong things to people. They're persecuting the people. Yes, they are. Yeah, they are. That's right. I'm not objecting what Communist Party has done, but I'm telling, I'm basically telling Alex Jones about the things that just come out from his mouth, and he doesn't have the truth to back it up, and then he just talk about it. Doesn't matter. Even you give them facts, even though you give him evidence, tell him, explain to him, he just won't listen. So more and more are just driven me away, And at that time, he started driving a lot of people away. At first, like Jakari Jackson and all that, And later on, Biggs left. Of course, Biggs left is not because he says anything or he doesn't like Alex or whatever. He want to start his own thing. He just had a baby, and throughout all that process, John Brown is the only one that stay with me. Whatever I post, okay, he doesn't reject. I'm thinking he's working for Infowars, okay? He is letting me posting, tagging him, okay? And my posts sometimes criticize Alex Jones and, straighten out stuff that he doesn't want to change, he doesn't want to correct or whatever, So, that's about the Infowars thing, So I start concentrate on my own Infowars China, Infowars doesn't belong to him, Infowars Corporation maybe belong to him, I don't know what you call it over there, 503C31 or whatever, But that's got Infowars doesn't belong to anyone, Anyone who want to tell the truth, who want to put the truth out, can use Infowar because it is an info war.
Yeah. Did he not come after you on the grounds of infringement?
Copyright and all that.
Infringement, yeah, especially.
Yeah. No infringement, nothing. He just ignored me.
Oh, so yeah. And so you did have an exchange of emails, messages, and a bit of a rapport going there for some time, but not after.
Well, I can go back and dig out in his Facebook, but his Facebook got all deleted,
Right.
And then that is the time they also delete my Facebook page. Not page. It's a Facebook group called Infowars Group, because the name is Infowars, okay, and because a couple of my Facebook friends that always post on the Infowars China, a couple of them went a little bit too hectic on the Zionism thing. So it got picked up,
Close
it got
enough.
picked up together.
Yeah, close enough. Get rid of it. Don't want to see that anymore. That Infowars stuff. Get it. Yeah, that's bad news. Bad news. It's fake news.
So,
fake news. So it's terrible though.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So therefore, I start concentrate on my own Infowars China, and I say I'm going to use all my time.
That's great. That's great.
And then start translating information to give to the mainland Chinese, because the Google Translator. Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's automatic. I know it's all algorithm. The more you correct, contribute your corrections, the more it's getting accurate. Yes, that's right. But Chinese language is exactly the opposite. I love you over there. Me love. No. Okay, sorry, that's not good. Like a comparison. But Chinese is the grammar is actually totally opposite to English. So the translation is funny, coming out a lot of things, it doesn't make sense. It might make sense in one part, it doesn't make sense in other parts, So basically, I'm trying to translate stuff and try to put on anything if goes with my gut feeling, all right? I put it on, because I believe in my gut. My gut never wrong before, and I don't believe you will ever wrong in the future. So I trust my gut and then go with all the things. Maybe along the line, some information doesn't sit with these people, that people, and they come attack me and trolls and all that. But so far, and they haven't shut me down or anything yet.
No, and I guess it looks like you should probably just keep sticking to your guns, really, if that's what you want to do. And why Alex would have any problem with somebody translating or even having their own project where they were able to help provide some kind of information, cutting edge, hopefully, to the people of the mainland China. That seems to kind of be a no-brainer, because if he was genuinely supportive of people waking up, then you would think he would be more willing to bring you on board or to work with you in some capacity.
Yeah, I offered him before. I say, in Australia, I can, and I'm Chinese, living in Australia, like what do you call Chinese Aussie, and then I can take care of both, I can give you intel on the ground, boots on the ground in Australia, because Australia is important. It's very, very important. Not just like we have a Stargate in the middle of our map, it's a lot of stuff. Also, you got the biggest CIA base outside of America is here, right at Pine Gap dump, DUMB, underground base, and they got all the like spy listening, surveillancing, balls here. If you look from Google Map, there's so many 8 balls, and I don't know what they do, what is it, but like so far it's like some kind of information data recording or whatever, maybe it's similar like the Dallas one, I don't know, but Australia is very, very important within the Five Eyes nations. Yeah. So, okay. Sorry.
No, hang on. I was just fiddling around with some audio issues here. We had some comment made that there was just some discrepancy as to the quality of the stream audio wise, and looks like it's reasonably well. We had a report of one really bad sort of. Hang on just a second. Hang on just a second. So, yeah, I got your channel muted out because there's a little bit of like scratching around, and it sounds like some plastic or something maybe sometimes occasionally being. I'm wearing an earphone. Oh, that's what it is. So then you're rubbing it up against your chin or something. Probably is that's what it is. So yeah, but partly. No, stay with it. Just keep it away from your chin, and that should be fine. What I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to switch over to another mic channel here, and I'll just use this for a little while and see if anything changes. If you guys out there can't hear me anymore, be sure to let me know. So, well, there we go. And let's just give a shout out here as well, too, before we carry along any further. Starseed, Jupiter 5, saying audio okay. I'm not sure if that means okay good or okay real good, or Joey Boomer saying audio good, not great. But no, that high-pitched frequency, we're trying to get rid of that, actually. So if we can manage here, and we've got everything shut off as best we could reckon here. So not sure if we have to switch out power bars or what exactly, but it is a bit of a detriment here, obviously, because if we could have that resolved, maybe through some more compression or who knows what exactly. But that's just one of the things that we've talked about here in the past that I don't know. It's if I could hang on a second, Rob, we got you shut down over there. So just okay. we'll bring you back on board. You were going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, how about I just hold the mic like this, right in front of my mouth, and I hold it with both hands.
I don't. It sounds okay. Just where you are, right there. Just got to be careful with rubbing it. Like I said, it sounds like up against your face.
My beard probably. My beard.
Yeah, keep it away from the beard. Yeah.
Sorry, mate. That's So how come you in Korea?
Well, that's so. Are we? Hey, are we on your show now?
No. I don't have a show. 안녕하세요.
Yeah.
You do now.
No. I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Hang on just a second. Some great points about China is what Joey Boomer is telling us here. So just trying to scroll up and see what else we're looking at. Mr. Anderson is in the house. We thought we had him on board here in the Skype chat room. Maybe not at this particular moment. Maybe we can bring him in before night's end.
Can you hold on a sec? I just change your earphone. Maybe it's better. Okay?
Sure. Yeah, you can try that. We'll shut. Yeah. We got your channel shut down there, so that's fine. We still got the OBS streaming out here live to the world. It is once again Saturday, February 22nd here in Asia. We are living in the future, both Rob and myself. This is Seoul and Tokyo time zones where we broadcast out of. He finding himself a citizen of the, I guess some would regard as the great city of Sydney, Australia. I don't know. I've never been there, had much of a chance to look around or meet many of the people. So Joey Boomer saying he loves this Australian Chinese accent. Very cool. All right. How about that? Ask the guests what the Chinese think of Black Americans or Africans in general. Ooh, that could get interesting. But yeah. So this is show number 172, of course, of Pirate Radio Podcasts. Myself, your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. It sounds like we've got Rob back there, and we're going to, in just a moment, open his channel back up so people can hear what he's got to offer. I don't know. We'll just have to play it by ear. Just make sure if you got a boom. No, there's that rubbing again. It's just with the boom mic, I think, is what you're working with there.
No,
So-
I'm just holding the iPhone, like an iPhone, the white one, the iPhone earphone and the mic. That's all I got.
Oh, yeah, just stick to what you had there originally. That was fine. Just like I said, just watch out for as I'm sure listeners can make out right now. So we're going to shut the channel. We'll shut the channel down there. And it's for now. I'm not sure if you're going to switch back over or not, but that's well, just originally where you were. Just the original setup you had about 2 minutes ago was fine. Just as long as, and don't worry. Yeah. Well, no, you're too far away from the mic, Rob. Yeah. So just back to what we were looking at there originally, and we'll pick up with the balance of what we have remaining, a little more than half an hour or so, and yeah, definitely glad that. Well, let's go with this and just see what we got here. So it sounds to be better. Yeah, just resolved and back as it was. The default setting you had there. Like I said, just keep an eye out for an ear for the overly active rubbing and so forth against the beard. So, but anyways, What? Go ahead.
Nothing. I thought robbing. I'm not. I'm just. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Robin Hood? You're talking about your beard with Robin Hood or something, or what? What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I'm just holding this mic in front of my mouth. I'm not touching anything.
Yeah. Well, okay. Maybe there's a bit of popping from time to time too. That's a little more electronically related. It's not that bad. Trust me. We've had worse sound in the past. Believe me. So
okay. Sorry about that. Sorry to everyone.
It's not that bad, it's mostly distracting us talking about it is the biggest issue right now. So, and my biggest. What I want to focus on, one of the things right now is this high pitched whine, which I think we have that under. We got that under control more or less here too, and that's from our end, I do believe. But yeah, so where else can we take the conversation that we talked about, Aaron? We talked about Infowars China. We could go into that a little more. We want to talk about Corona. My Corona. She's my baby, my Corona.
Yeah, I know. I used to drink Corona Extra too.
Hey,
with the lemon on top.
Yeah, sure. Hey, here's the thing. Here's a question for you. You might have thought about this already. I don't know. How many Caucasian people have been dying from this Corona? How many
No one.
How many
No one.
How many Africans? How many Spanish people?
No
how
one.
many people from other parts of the world other than just in China?
Just the yellow peril.
Those yellow, yeah. And now, Rob, you're pretty tied into things and hip and up to speed on a lot of what takes place out here via the underground digital, alternative media and so forth. But have you heard of this Harvard University angle with this Professor Lieber, which that's L-I-E, spells lie, folks, in case you're wondering, this nice Jewish man. As it turns out.
No, not a good Jewish man, according to Robert Davis Steele. Can I speak now, or am I still on mute?
No, you're fine. You have at it. Yeah. So the story about Harvard then, and then the Corona, Lieber, and
I know. Yeah,
right?
I know. This is the case. Okay, I've been doing international trade for for like probably 10 years since I finished uni, and I've been doing banking, insurance jobs, and all that. This is very normal for Bill Gates. Okay, for example, I'm not alleging anything. Okay, it's very normal for them to go to the Chinese and say, okay, set up a lab, set up a company. We're going to do this business. We're going to make vaccines, We're going to counter all the future viruses and save lives, And the Chinese government will go down and then tell their state-owned enterprise, please, we're going to do this for our American CJV partner, which is cooperative joint venture partners. We're going to do this. It's going to be very good, our country. Make a lot of money. And all that. And someone will do it, as long as money behind it, someone will do it. And they think, and the people down there is always compartmentalized, And so they think they are doing a good thing, And then they start arguing with other people when they tell them you're not doing a good thing, And then it just get into distractions and all that. But behind the scene, they just getting everything set up. Everything is rolling in on time, on agenda. Nothing has changed, man, The only thing is changed is some loose change that is already pinned down, in public eyes that they can't, wipe out anymore, So like Harvey Weinstein and all that. You know what I mean?
And I wonder about this Harvey Weinstein. Well, Harvey Weinstein, I was thinking Epstein, and two more very nice Jewish gentlemen. Well, maybe not so nice. I say it with, a little facetious. But, yeah, it's just those darn, what, do you think that they would be try to set more of a positive pro-Semitic image and make an example for themselves, which even that term Semitic, I'm not sure if you know about that or not, but it's all a bunch of nonsense because it means, most Semitic people, they're definitely not Jewish. I'll say that much. And most Jews, guess what? They're not Semites. Well, all right.
Exactly.
So and there's more. Hang on. There's more to be anti-Semitic. Well, why does one have to? Why do we have to be pro-Semitic? Whatever this is, whatever Semitic is, why do we have to be in support of it? Why can't we criticize it? Whatever it is, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. So it just goes on and on and on. It's just totally just nonsense, and it's like if you want to say you hate somebody, you think they hate Jews, then say it. Is my point, If you want to say that guy's a Jew hater, then say it, and maybe we can talk. Maybe we can talk the same language, same level.
Exactly,
catapult the propaganda.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, I was gonna tell you a little bit about China before the war, okay, before the Japanese war, okay, and we now know, okay, Rothschild has funded both sides of the wars ever since the first one, God knows which one is that, maybe it's the American Civil War or maybe it's the French, Revolution, I don't know. But they always fund both sides of the wars, and these perpetual wars of the neocon, globalist, colonialist neocons, and they have funded both sides of the wars ever since. So when it comes to the World War I, World War II, to set up the state of Israel, and World War III continue. It's just what do you call it? The Mad Dog. What do they call it? It's the biblical, prophecy. Dog and Mad Dog. Is it? Is it called God and Mad Dog?
Dog and Pony Show.
God and Magog. Sorry.
Dogma.
No, Gog and Magog. The Book of Revelations. Right. You gotta. So it's a stage management, social engineering bringing it all towards to steering things in a way which is more reflective of what has been prophesized. And so therefore, then they can cash in from that angle and maintain greater mind control over people who, if you look at it, speaking of the Rothschilds, it's so interesting you bring their name up in this biblical context in particular, because the Schofield Bible apparently is where so much of this goes back to, along with the fact, as you say, they're kind of covering their bets, I think as it's known, and in that sense of heads I win, tails you lose, or it doesn't matter what the results are. Either way, I'm still going to come out on top. So that's a smart way of doing. Right. That's a smart way of doing things. It's pretty sociopathic, but it's I guess.
Have you heard of the thing they talk about how Anunnaki is here to mine gold because they need a lot of gold to somehow patch their atmosphere in their, Sirius B or Sirius C or whatever constellation they're in, So, like they say, that's why globalists are just using all the wars to loot other countries' treasure.
Globalists.
All the good treasure hiding in, people's houses with, one of the Nazi hide all the paintings, it come to surface, and all that. And in China, the priceless stuff is all the antiques that the king and the emperors buried in their tombs.
Well,
and the Chinese, Chinese.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say the Chinese Illuminatis are all the 9 families of all these tomb raiders, okay? I mean, not just normal tomb raiders like thieves, okay? They are skilled tomb raider, Like, I don't know if you heard this saying. In China, there's 360 different industry or careers. There's 360 different jobs, you can do, in life. The number one hardest, the toppest, guess what? Tomb raider. They have to know chemistry, they have to know physics, they have to know archaeology, they have to know feng shui, they have to know I Ching, they have to know all this stuff, and then that's how they got all the, real treasure that's priceless, that even, before ET civilizations leave back, I don't want to get into that, but somewhere along the line, I'm going to get into that because, that's what I think is what's happening in this universe, So back to Chinese war, okay, back to Japanese war invasion, and at that time, the Chinese government is the nationalist people's government, which is called the Kuomintang, which is the nationalist people's government of China.
Chiang Kai-shek.
Exactly. He's Chinese too.
I studied this in university. I've long had an interest in Asiatic studies, and sure, absolutely, yeah.
Fair income in Australia, we say fair income, which is a fair go, right? Fair go that he tried. Okay, he tried to kick the Japanese out, but he couldn't because there's too strong, and then there's also Nazi Germany's coming, French coming, England, British coming.
But hold it. Are we talking World War I, like before or after the rape of Nanking?
Before the Western nations are always there.
Right. Right back to the Opium Wars, even around that time, of course, right?
Absolutely, the Opium War. Yeah, the Russells, the Russell Company, the Indian.
Do you know the general?
You know all that.
Founder of Skull and Bones. Founder of Skull and Bones, General Russell. That's right.
Yep, absolutely. So at that time, the only one, here, the core of action is the bloody communists, and the communists I'm not praising them, right? I have personal vendetta with them. They killed my great grandpa, on the bench, in Cultural Revolution, So I have a personal vendetta to settle with the CCP. But the thing is, at that time, I gotta tell you the truth, is the communists hear the call and start, fighting back, And with at the end, they start showing progress. At the end, the other Kuomintang, want to save face, That's why they join together. They say, hey, we're gonna fight the Japanese together. So let's join together and fight the Japanese. As soon as the fucking that's another $10. As soon
Dude, you rub shoulders with Wall Street traders and bankers. I think you can afford a few $10 or $20. Yeah, should be okay.
Sorry about that. And anyway, so they fight the Japanese, got rid of the Japanese, and then they turn around and start persecuting the communists. But at the end, communists win. All the communist top leadership are all come from where? Are all overseas students. The upper.
Oh yeah, they all have to be educated.
Families.
They're educated in the West, and they come back home, and that's just, hey, it's guess what? It's the same in South Korea.
Really?
Pretty much. From what I understand, of course, you've got to go to get your West education in the West. You come back home, and it's like you're the golden boy or girl, and you have everything just pretty much. It's the world is your oyster, as the saying goes.
Back then, the communists just basically won and then chased the Taiwanese. The Kuomintang all the way to Taiwan, and then Mao goes, okay. We are too stuffed. We have to rebuild, and then all that stuff come up.
Okay.
And can I I'll just finish very quick.
Yeah, sure.
Mao, all the Chinese will not, okay, go have a go against Mao because they pay. How do you say this? They pay to pay appreciation.
Tribute.
Tribute for getting us for us not becoming Japanese right now, or not become Japanese servants. Right
Sure. I probably would have, if I was back in China at that time, I probably would have supported Mao too if he would have thrown out the foreign invaders. Of course, who wouldn't, right?
But he made the biggest mistake because he's getting old and he become paranoid with his own control and power, and then he start persecuting the right wings, and then he start a thing called revolution, no wrong, There's nothing wrong about revolution.
Right.
So all the young Red Army start popping up, they're going in towns and cities and start, preaching all this stuff.
Yeah,
anyway,
the Culture Revolution, Mao's Little Red Book. If you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao,
that's when they killed my great grandpa on the bench.
I got you. I got you there. I know, because once again, I studied that in university because it was something that appealed to me. Ancient Chinese and Asian studies as well too, and the interest in Buddhism and Taoism and Confucianism and everything else. It's fascinating stuff. But we don't have enough time here to get into the whole lot of it. What I'd like to do is direct
coronavirus.
Well, but even before we go there, while we're talking Mao and that period during his time in power, that time frame in history, 1950 in particular. What was happening in the world, in Asia in particular, around 1950?
1950. I wasn't even born yet. I born in the 70s.
Have you studied that?
War.
What's that?
Just started.
The Korean War.
Yep.
Anything else? Anything else big on the go in Asia?
Just before the Cultural Revolution, and then I think one-child policy started.
All right.
The year I was born.
Okay.
And that was I don't know. Maybe you know more than me about the rest. So 12 years old, I came out. 1 month after the June 4th Tiananmen Square incident. But I won't get into all that. I want to get into the coronavirus.
But yeah, we will. But hang on just a second. 1950. Let's stay focused on this for a second. 1950, Korean War. What else was taking place in Asia at that particular time? Even prior to that, actually, the invasion of Tibet.
Oh yes.
Why is it that so few people are unable to connect the dots? Chairman Mao sitting there wherever the grand imperial palace or wherever the hell he used to hole himself up in Beijing, right? That sitting there on his throne and looking south, and then he would look out to the west, and then look south and look to the west. What did he do? He created a distraction. Helped to create a distraction, was part of an internationally orchestrated distraction, you could say, even along and across the Korean Peninsula, while at the same time quietly invading Tibet, which, as you know, in Chinese, literally means it's the Western treasure house, is what the Chinese characters mean. The Western treasure house is Tibet, correct?
Xizang. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Western
treasure place. Yeah.
Yes, well, ding, ding, ding. And you were just mentioning earlier about tomb raiding and looting and the treasures from the past. Do you have any, and the Cultural Revolution? Do you have any sense of appreciation of the magnitude?
Yes. Okay, I'll get you what you're trying to allude. I know what you're trying to say. Yep. That's
Tibet
right.
was looted.
Into all those places, yeah.
And all because of, and then putting all the blame on the corrupt. It was like the Dalai Lama is a bad guy. He wants democracy. What is this? This is an outrage. Go support us. We'll guide you along the way here. Just trust in the Communist Party and don't ask any questions, and everything will work out just fine.
And then they become totalitarian, and all that, And until Mao died, and the rest all the old one died, and then Xiaoping come, and then he go to the West, open, he say 走出去, which is like go abroad, go abroad. Do what? Go abroad, invest in company, buying up everything,
Sure.
Resources and all that, That's how they become rich everywhere, And all those CEOs in the state-owned enterprise, SOEs, overseas, okay, doing business with the mining giants, BHP, Rio Tinto, all that stuff. They are party leaders, like party secretary, I don't know which one is secretary or anyway, party leaders, over there they call the shots,
Hillary Clinton. No, she's out of it now. She's out of it now.
Oh my God.
She might be.
You don't even want to know what I know about Hillary Clinton on the dark web.
Another time, another show. She might be back.
How long do we have?
We've got another probably 20 minutes or so, maybe. About 20 minutes, and I'd like to.
You want to go coronavirus? Or?
Yeah. There's nothing more that you have to say with respect to Tibet and the Korean War and the fact that look. My question to you is: do you think that was just a coincidence, the Korean War? Well, that was taking place down along the throughout the peninsula, and all these international powers drawn in, while quietly Mao was making his way, looting this huge Western treasure house. I mean, is that just, are we supposed to really just carry on as if that was all one big coincidence, or what exactly?
The bottom part compartmentalized, we won't know. The middle part, black ops, you got to have whistleblowers that works in black ops to come out and tell you what. But on top, I think, like... I just saw the Hillary and Trump kissing scene.
Are you watching? Is that up? Oh no. That's not the slideshow. That's got to be Joe probably in Skype. He's always goofing around in that way.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
No worries.
I'm
okay.
sorry, guys.
Joe, you better be careful. Angel will before, but it's a two-way for now. But you better be careful. Angel knows a little how to play around with memes. So, and it could end up having somebody else's mug in there too before too long.
I know that.
Yeah. What I want to say. Oh, sorry, Joe. What I want to say about Tibet is there's a Stargate there, and it's important.
Now, how do you know these things?
Oh, there's more information that I got to along the line on my own journey of enlightenment. Along the line, I stumbled into synchronicities.
Okay.
So after coronavirus, let me just get rid of that first. Okay.
Don't forget the Tibetan Stargate. Are you kidding me? But geez, no, you're not getting Tibetan Stargate. Come on, man, you can't leave us hanging like that. You gotta.
You don't want coronavirus anymore.
We want Tibetan Stargate. We take 2 minutes and then move along.
Okay. Not just Tibet, it's all over the world.
India, probably.
India, you're talking about Stonehenge, you talk about Iraq and Iran, and all that. With those Stargate, what the Black Ops people, NASA people call it, okay? They call it the AAs, the ancient arrows. If you see the picture that I gave you, I don't know if you got it or not, from Westburn's papers. Okay, I was searching on the information on the Roswell crash. Okay, somehow I stumbled onto Westburn's papers. That is the third thing that initially awakened me. Okay, and this is much, much more intense because he basically researched on everyone's research conclusion. Okay, he researched on that about human origin, present and future challenges. Okay, so he wrote a paper. It's called Westburn's paper. PENRE. He's based in what's that side on the west coast? Something Portland, Oregon. That's right. He's in Portland, Oregon. He's a Swedish guy. He wrote these Westburn's papers, and I stumbled on the number 3 episode. The number 3 article. It's called "The Truth," the new information about the truth about the Wingmakers and the SAALM. Okay, that one is initially awakening me to all those. Like the upper stuff, ET and all that stuff. Okay, and inside that, the top. Okay, he's saying, in New Mexico, what do you call it? There's a place in New Mexico called the wait, I'll give it to you right now. Okay, in
Roswell, Aztec,
White Sands. White Sands.
Roswell, Aztec.
Okay. Yep. Anyway, it's about the Wingmakers information, which everyone was drawn to back in the 70s. Okay, because what happened is these two mountain climber, they went into the mountains in New Mexico. Okay, where those Anahazi people suddenly disappeared. Okay, those inside a cave, they found 24 chambers. Every chamber is got a painting done by Wingmakers. Okay, so-called Wingmakers, which they call themselves the Wingmakers, but really they are this ET race who's controlling us right now. That called Courtians, and I stumbled onto that, and Westburn's papers basically, it's what I call a human being's perspective. All right, very extensive perspective of what's what the hell is going on here, you know? And from there, I stumbled onto another piece of information, which I call and researched for 5 years on this piece of information, which is the Emerald Guardian Alliances, okay? They are the ones that at the Nazi days, okay, they are telling America, you know, we can help you, you know. America goes, you know, we just want advanced weapon. Can you give us weapon? They goes, no, we can't give you weapons, but we can help you grow and then align with, you know, the basically the human template, the ascension code here, you know, in this living library, you know. So you know,
that's the Nordic end of things as far as what happened. This is during the Eisenhower administration, I think, is what you're talking about, where the option, or at least the chance, was there for humanity. Eisenhower, I guess, they're probably contacting all leaders from around the world at that time, not just America, presumably. But Eisenhower had the one opportunity, and he signed. He went with the Greys, who were more interested in exchanging. There we go with the monkeying around with the sound. I'm not sure. We'll get him muted for the next few moments. But the deal was there. But hang on just a second, Rob. The deal there is that the Eisenhower administration, so the story goes, the Treaty of Grenada, I think is as it's known, Grenea, something along those lines, Grenada, that they basically opted for technology in exchange for human body parts, or just to traffic human beings, and it was only supposed to be at a certain level for you know, it started out a certain level, and then it just totally went crazy. Where, I mean, look, there's like 100,000 people in America that go missing every year. Apparently,
800.
100,000. Hold on.
800.
Excuse me. You're saying 800,000 people in the U.S. go missing every year?
That's right.
I don't know about. I'd have to check that, but I'm not sure. Where do you get your numbers?
From the ITNJ, you know, the International Tribunal of Natural Justice.
800,000. That's almost 1 million people in America go missing every year.
Yeah, and they say that's only children's too, not adults.
But okay, could be. Who knows? But a lot of them also end up finding their way back home in the end too, or a significant number do, at least, don't they?
Well, I don't think a lot of them. I think few of them find that number.
All right.
You know? But anyway, yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. Okay, I found it. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
No. It's all yours. How about it?
I just sent you a link, you know, and on the We Make It Sing, and it's the Chaco Canyon in New Mexico. Okay, they found all this painting, and also they found a disc, and the disc they try to translate. The original people try to translate this. They call them the number 15, you know, which is the head of the organization, because in the U.S., okay, U.S. government, then NSA, and under NSA there's special projects laboratory, military industrial complex, and also there's a select private industries, which is all the, you know, Boeings and what do you call it, the forgot the name, the Skunk Work.
Yeah, Skunk Works. That's right.
Yeah, that one. Okay, and then.
McDonnell Douglas.
Yep.
Lockheed and Martin.
That's right. And then with what's his name? He just died. William Tompkins. Yeah, that William Tompkins. That's all the story that associated with this. Okay, the 15 is the top guy. Responsible for ASIO. At that time, he's very young. He's 19. He's super smart ass in his, you know, university. And I'm not gonna go long. I'm just gonna finish this. And also, under him, there's a a group called the Labyrinth Group. ACO spells Advanced Contact.
Office.
Yeah. Sorry, Advanced Contact Intelligence Organization. Okay, it's not the Australia or ASIO in Australia, Australia Security Intelligence. Or it's not. It's the ASIO just responsible for talking to this bunch of what do you call it? Zeta Reticuli. Hello.
Yeah, gotta love all the alphabet soup agency. This endless alphabet soup. Oh God.
So remember, I don't know if you have heard that the long beard guy called Robert. He died too. You know.
Robert.
Kerry Cassidy is one of Bob Dean. That's right. Bob Dean, one of his talks, okay, he say he walking in America Albuquerque lab, okay, Albuquerque laboratory. He walking there in the door, and then 2 minutes later he exit in Australia Pine Gap, okay. So basically, they are building their own stargates. Basically, it's called wormholes. You know.
Yeah. We've been hearing
up with MK Ultra as well.
Well,
you know,
could be. I guess. Yeah, could be. So we've been hearing a lot about wormhole technology for years now. So But we don't need wormhole technology. There's an organic stargate, which is the ancient arrows. Okay. Yeah.
They are
right.
ready to go.
Organic Stargate. No, I've heard of this organic Stargate business too. So that's interesting. Have you heard of this character that Blazagio fellow?
Bob Lazar, yeah?
No, not Bob Lazar. Blazagio.
Leo Zagami.
No, not Leo Zagami. But what Mr. Anderson? If you might want to, you got to try to unmute yourself. There is what you'll want to do. The surname is Blazagio. Who's the time traveler, Joe? You know the guy I'm talking about, don't you? Or Basagio. I'm getting. Mm-hmm.
He's a fraud.
Andrew Basiago.
Yeah. What do you think? What are your thoughts on him, Rob?
I don't know, because what they try to do with the Grace is the blank slate technology, which is the time travel technology. So I don't know if he's fraud or if he's real. If he's I saw the boy photo, you know, when he's young, he was at, you know, somewhere. It was a black-white photo.
There's just something about him that just, to me, it does like my BS detector is going off, you know, 100 miles a minute with the guy.
Voice stress analysis on everything he said, and he was lying throughout the whole thing.
Really? Yeah.
He comes up with this box. It's like 4 inches by 4 inches, like a cube. Okay. Loaded with electronic circuitry, but you can't open it. And if I slam it against my wrist, my left wrist.
That's the Jesse Ventura show.
And I don't know what that was. I don't know where it was from, but
I saw that as well. Yeah.
I touch it against my wrist, and I could go where I won't move in space, but I'll move in time. While the Earth is moving like 66,000 miles an hour, it's rotating on its axis, going around in an orbit. I don't know of any technology, okay, that's 10 years away that could possibly translate something material back in time, no less a living thing. All right. And I know I'm on the cutting edge of quantum physics, or at least I was until like September or October. Okay, it just doesn't work that way. There's something called the Wheeler boundary to keep things from going back in time. All right, because it's the same as removing information or matter or energy from the universe. It's not.
If your gut feeling. Yeah, sorry about that, Joe. Yeah. If your gut feeling saying, you know, if your BS, detector is going off the chart, you're right. You're right about
voice stress analysis.
Your gut feeling always right.
Yeah. We got to wrap up, though. That's a great point that you've made there, Rob, and Joe has, of course, too. And Mr. Anderson, hang on a second, Rob. It looks like Mr. Anderson wants to jump in for a quick comment here as well.
Sure.
What's going on, Mr. A?
I was just going to say, this is the guy that, didn't he say there was like a big firefight down inside those, the underground facilities?
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was a different. He's coming. I can't quite come up with this.
You're talking about the Stewart? No, what's his name? The one got assassinated.
He did actually. Well, he did, but he was the. Which one? There's been a few.
It's the guy got his finger blown off by the great alien.
Yes.
When he shot that, he's the engineer for the underground dump.
Joe, do you remember his name? It's not coming to me right now.
I can't either. It's
like
not coming to me.
Is it Rob? Is it another Rob or Ron or something? I'm thinking an R or a D, maybe a K. God damn it! It's like I'm playing
structural engineer. He was supposed to go open up some.
What's his name?
Okay.
What's his name?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Man,
I can't remember.
Quick YouTube, guys. Get back to us before the show's out. Then we got to wrap up here in about 10 minutes, and we got to talk to Rob about Corona right now. So that's where the focus is going to turn. Currently, let's just remind listeners they are listening to show number 172 of Pirate Radio Podcast. Myself, your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. We've got Rob from Infowars China here joining us this week. And we actually, Rob, you might want to try to unmute yourself from your end there. See if you can get that worked out. Sometimes people can't. There you go. It looks like you're good. Yeah, it looks like you're good to go there. So, okay, so all things Corona is what we're going to be wanting to hear about for the next just few quick minutes here. We did get into a little bit earlier, mentioning Harvard, of course, and Lieber. Is there anything more that you'd care to add? Do you think this is a racially specific bioweapon that has been released?
I don't want to swear, but I think China really told both Trump and the U.S. administration, okay, and the Zionists, Rothschild or whatever, whoever, Benjamin or whatever, he told both of them to go F yourself, and then they copped it.
Okay, so that makes that well, but I see what you're saying. So China then told Trump and the world Zionism to go F themselves, basically, is what you're saying, and that was is the response. But why then do we have the involvement of these two Chinese nationals who are involved with alongside Lieber, working together?
I think because before, everyone was under this, already one world order, quietly behind the scene. They're already here. They're already controlling everything. Like back then, they want to make China the model of the new world order. Okay, and China is going down that path. Okay, but what happened is China got rich. When they got rich, they are on another level, sort of close to U.S. but a little bit under, but above everyone else. Okay, so China wants to counter U.S. Because U.S. is suppressing every country in the world. They got a U.S. Military base all around China, the bottom of the South China Sea. It's like a chokehold, choking this rooster, you know what I mean? So, and all China's trade are all going down that way from the ship. There's no land away. So that's why one belt, one road, Yeah,
so sure, the new Silk Roads, but at the same time, we've all been hearing in the news now. It's all over the place, really. The way that China's been going really quite overboard with the foreign expansion in foreign markets, but also not just economically, but also building the military, the naval ports, and I don't know about military bases per se, but the naval ports, those seem to be some pretty major projects on the go. You've been following that as well too, haven't you?
Well, so does America. It's got 1,000 military. that's the thing, also with, I'm not saying you, okay? I'm just saying generally with my American brothers and sisters, the patriots, I have ample respect for them. But they know their own mainstream media is a bunch of mockingbird, a mouthpiece for the whoever, okay? They know they are BS, lies, disinfo, misinfo, every day. But why, when it comes to China, comes to Korea, comes to Iran, they still turn to the same mainstream media, feeding them the same Western, colonialist neocons, you bad, I'm good. So I gotta, police this. So I come in, and bomb the shit out of everyone, and then that's me liberating you guys. Now thank me, with projects, with, all that for, all the big companies, So why they tend to, that's the thing. They don't have boots on the ground in China reporting this, very few. I saw 44 Days. I saw John Puja, okay, a very renowned Australian journalist, okay, mainstream journalist. He made that documentary about the Cambodia genocide and all that. Yeah, they are saying different things to the mainstream media. They're saying ABC, Australia Broadcasting Corporation, they are bashing China long before the coronavirus thing. Okay, first wave is the China election campaign donation. Okay, when it's their party member, that needs to the guy managed to lobby everyone and ask them for money, and get the money from the Chinese, rich guys here, somehow they tie to the CCP back in Beijing and all that. This first wave, second wave, Chinese spy, and then Hong Kong thing, and then Tibet thing, and then Taiwan thing, and then coronavirus, and I don't, with all the information I researched before, well, I'm accrediting, David Icke and all those great people, okay, that stand against all the laugh, or the ridicule, or the discrediting. They are right, and from those perspectives, it's not hard to believe they just, activated one of the biolab and just drop something and let them catch a cold, like Project Avalon, Kerry Cassidy's old partner. What's his Bill Ryan? Yeah. Bill Ryan said this 10 years ago on YouTube that we overheard the Bilderberg group or someone within the top elite bloodline are talking about this. They all laugh when they say, let's let China catch a cold. It's not hard to believe, okay, that they did something. And because at the same time, you also have Trump, trade war with China, all that. Yeah, I just see China by itself getting attacked by everyone. And then, to me, something is wrong, even though I hate the bloody CCP.
How about the potential role of Bill Gates? We've been hearing a lot about that as well, too. Have you heard much or looked into things? And what is the Harvard angle on that exactly? Was he doing business with Professor Lieber?
Initially, I think Bill Gates behind it, and because Bill Gates behind everything in this area, like vaccination and health, medical, and also the GMOs, and he knows so many Chinese upper level, central government, ministers and all that. They don't even need anyone to help them get into China, make mass amount of GMO and sell it overseas, or let them either, because we are going down the 5G line, we are going down the singularity AI, path, if we don't, the people don't come out and say, enough is enough. We can't take this anymore. Ben Fulfer always say, I respect Ben Fulfer, I respect Robert David Steele and all that, okay? But I think the only one that is broadly, on point is Robert David Steele. He's always consistent. But Ben Fulfer always say the P2 Freemason, they are okay with the not going down the 90%, depopulation thing. He's going with the environmental, the carbon tax, the climate change thing, So, maybe we can compromise, And I want to say to him so badly, I say, the Satanists will never change, They won. They are in the business of, killing babies, killing little kids, Why would they just compromise with you? They're gonna fight you all the way till the end. And they want to keep this, biblical prophecy until the end, and they are doing it, and they I'm not saying anything, but I'm just seeing, the whole world going that way. If if all of us don't just stop and walk off that plank of wood that with one of them standing there, let them drop in the down the cliff, Why should we just stand there and be the people and cheering the politicians and cheering the elite behind the scenes and be their enslaved, be their slave, and doing everything for them, and letting them doing whatever to us.
Oh, that's right. That's a good part of it, because we have to give them the permission to do so. Typically, we've got to be very much aware of these things. Sabbatean Jews under Sabbatai Zevi was his name, as I recall, 1666. And that's really important for people to keep their eyes on that gentleman, because the way that they've actually worked things is that sin is, in their view, considered to be meritorious. It's considered to be a good way of living your life, so that through sin, that you find redemption. And there's some pretty awful things that take place there too, as you can probably imagine. So when I say, as far as you can imagine, I'm speaking to everybody, of course, not just our guest today, Rob from out of Australia, and his project, of course, Infowars China. We've only got about 2 minutes left here, but he did mention this whole business of citizen pushback. Basically, that's why we often like to refer to what we do here on a semi-regular basis, at least with the public service that we provide to you, the listener, as a kind of a form of engaged citizenship. Not everybody agrees with it, but with that idea, but it is what we like to, how we like to promote things. And let me just say, as far as beliefs are concerned, that the views and opinions expressed on behalf of myself, the show's host, along with our guests, do not necessarily reflect those of either the wider listening audience nor the show's sponsors. So pushback on the part. Hang on just a second, Rob. Hang on just a second, and it's a good thing I had you shut down, because I heard some fiddling around there taking place in the background too. It's something that, if I can help it, I
just sparked up a cigarette. Sorry.
There we go. Well, we're not even okay. So
we don't.
Hey, Rob, we haven't even got to first base yet. What are you talking about? Come on. So,
hey, I'm a cannabis supporter. Okay, a huge fan.
So one of those kind of cigarettes.
No, I'm just joking.
Oh, good man.
I see. But hey, no, this is important. The pushback on part of the people, some people have talked about, because you know the old expression, in politics, timing is everything. There are no coincidences. Timing is everything. That what do you think with respect to Hong Kong, with what we've been seeing take place there, and the emergence of the coronavirus out of Wuhan?
I reckon, if all this distraction stops, the Chinese people will grow so united, around the whole world. And basically, the elite knows time's up. It's the age of consciousness. When they say we are born, we are made, or we are, created, in the face of the God. This is not a gender God. This is talking about, prime source, prime creator. We are talking about we're in the image of consciousness, It's age of higher consciousness, So no one can lie anymore. No one can, all their BS will be revealed, one by one, and they can't hide it anymore, So what they're gonna do, Because this is what they call a falling system. This system is falling. They basically tilt all the planet 45 degrees, so we can't connect with, we can't align with the central sun, the galactic central sun. But that is next time. I'll leave a link for you, and you guys can go have a look. You be the judge for your own, research, like I always say, to be the change you want to see in the world, to bring that choice and the freedom to evolve back on this planet again.
That's right. That sounds great. And yeah, that is one of the quotes that you have basically incorporated.
On my Infowars China page, that's my motto.
Sure. So, there was one other thing with respect to Corona, Hong Kong.
Okay.
There was, if only. There was one other possible angle as far as just the politics of it all. Oh, I know what it was now. We had this a guest, Mitchell Gerber. I'm not sure if you heard of Mitchell. You might be interested in talking to him at some point, but he's currently he's based out of Vietnam, and we had him drop by a couple days, maybe like a week or so ago, I guess is what it was now. And he was talking about Corona. He's a Falun Gong supporter. We haven't brought up the Falun Gong to until just now, but. Red Rain, REIGN, Red Rain, rain as in raining over, as in ruling over. Is that a Facebook page? No, it's the name of a documentary that I would recommend if you like to, because you've heard of the human organ trafficking industry in China. Yes,
of course. And great evil.
Right. So that's
Red Rain,
yeah, that's what I would highly recommend as far as jumping off point, and maybe after
Peter
that.
Gabriel.
Oh, is he involved in that project? I had no idea.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Peter Gabriel sing the song Red Rain.
No, yeah.
Sorry about that.
REIGN. We don't want to get people confused.
R-E. All right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like ruling over. That's right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
So that's the documentary you want to check out. And just because with the numbers, did you notice how just the other day that there's an official statement made whereby the numbers to corona cases suddenly shot up dramatically?
Really?
Oh, well, yeah, because the way that they were using to measure, supposedly, so the story goes, the way they're using to measure who had corona and who didn't, they broadened the goalposts, as it were, so that now everybody had corona, right? So that if you had a sniffle, or you had a sneeze, or you maybe had a bit of a high, a bit of a fever or whatever, a cough, it's like, oh, we must have corona. So that now here's the thing, that what I'm getting at here ultimately is the tie into, for example, Falun Gong, these dissident groups, and Falun Gong is like huge, as you know. It's bigger than the ruling Communist Party, which I can understand why they'd be so fearful, and they would want to go around. I guess that's the lengths that they're willing to go to. They will murder you. Clearly,
they are threatening the establishment. That's why. Peacefully
with this Tai Chi, meditation. It's like that goes to show how weak the government really is. If meditation, Tai Chi, these traditional practices that have been around for quite a few thousand years in China, and then the rest of the East, of course, too. If that is all it takes to end a criminal, corrupt regime, then maybe it is time for them to step down and move aside.
No, I don't think. Because you know why? The 75% of academics, like people finish uni, okay? 75% apply for a government job.
Oh yeah. Oh, you have to be you have to be politically correct in China, or else you don't eat. Yeah. Probably, when it comes right down to it, your life is not easy.
Yeah.
You have to be PC.
I'm just saying, research it, like do your own homework, and you be the judge to discern all the information,
Exactly.
If it sticks with you,
Yes. So, I'm not sure if there's anything more. Infowars China via Facebook. We have your other links.
I just want to give a shout out to Christopher Comstock, okay, and he and I have a Facebook group called The Real History of Earth, and people can check it out,
Planet America as well, too, over on Facebook.
Yeah, Planet America, just because, in ABC there's a program called ABC Planet America. They talk about Trump. They start, bashing Trump and all that. And I just go there and counter them with, the good things he done and all that, and all the conspiracies on him, and all that.
Don't get Pirate Joe started now. He's not as. Oh boy!
Yep, we like to do that. We just like it. We can't help it.
He's not as bad as Tommy Shutter, our good friend Miami Tom. But these they quite easily become deranged. It doesn't take much, trust me. So but we got all your links, and we've been sharing and passing around as much as we could here. And
thank you. And the Dropbox, that Dropbox is got all the information that I haven't got time to finish before. It's on the Guardian Alliance information, which I reckon. Okay, and I got all the top people in the alternative research also confirmed this, like Kerry Cassidy, Simon Park, Laura Eisenhower, Westbrook, all of them confirmed this is the top information that no New Age people can top, and New Age people just hate it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Go in and check it out.
And can we share that with the wider our audience members?
Please.
Okay. Hopefully, don't have to charge them a Patreon, put a Patreon paywall in place for them to access it. But
we try to give them as free as possible, because a lot of people, just can't afford it.
I know. Yeah. And that's the thing, is we only encourage people, if you can't help us out in that capacity, the monetary regard, then just keep sharing the links and helping to spread the word, leaving comments, of course, and doing what you can to get the word out in that regard. So that about does it. Of course, we're gonna mute you out for now, Rob, but we're gonna come back to you. Just hang on here, if you would. All right, after the show. In fact, we can have you. Just get him muted, I guess would be the way to do it here. And then, and then we will be able to hopefully put this one to bed in a little cleaner fashion. It's only going to take another minute or two here. We got Mr. Anderson, who we haven't heard a whole heck of a lot from up to now. Let's just do that. Just a quick wrap with Mr. Anderson. Bring you in there, Mr. A. how's life in Utah today? This wonderful weekend. At least it's wonderful here in South Korea. And what are your just brief overall thoughts on the show?
I think it's outstanding to be able to touch bases with a legitimate source of information. And Rob made a very important point. Do your own research. This coronavirus has been just a nightmare to research because you're getting primarily your information from the state-owned news media outlets of China. So we don't have accurate numbers here. I did want to ask, though, Rob, do you have any firsthand information there in Australia? Are your numbers, how are your numbers on this outbreak? Do they coincide with what, like the WHO, that's the World Health Organization, how many outbreaks are in Australia now? And is it racial specific? Racial specific meaning that is it targeting Asians in Australia?
Racially specific bioweapon. Could it be? Rob, do you want to respond to that? We had him muted, actually, so, you know...
Yeah, okay.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yep, I'll answer that. In Australia, right now, they are quarantining everyone that come back from overseas, okay? Not just from China, okay? It's from Hong Kong, it's from everywhere where there's a case. They will tell you to quarantine you for 14 days. Before, it's all the national come back self-quarantine. But now, it's mandatory to Christmas Island and the other one to the Darwin, the North Australian Northern Territory base. It's like a sort of army processing base. And then they let all the national go there, quarantine. And then they just extend the travel ban for another week. And then all the news is reporting on $12 billion loss is going to be lost if we can't get the Chinese overseas student back here to study the year 12, the uni first year and all that.
Well, you know, look, we can follow...
I've heard that too.
We can follow up on this maybe or the coming... Not this week, but within the next couple of weeks, we have Esther Koo, comedian Esther Koo, join us Tuesday, March. I think it's the 3rd. It's either the 3rd or 4th here, but however the calendar is set up here exactly. I get confused sometimes because of it's the 3rd. It's the 4th here in Asia. We are once again living in the future. That's the way it works, like it or not. Yep. So, and there we go, though. We're going to, but thanks once again. We'll have you back to respond to that like in a couple weeks then. Maybe give you some time to look around a little further and provide us with some more concrete, solid details regarding Corona. I don't think there's going to be anything further, though. It's all going to blow over. And here's the thing, Mr. Anderson, guys like Mr. Anderson and Joe here and others as well too. It really doesn't matter. There's some people that may really be apprehensive or on edge. That would they start to panic or get a little more, feel a little more uneasy if 100,000 people. Here's the deal, man. If they were to know that the Corona was to take out 100,000 people in 1 year, would they begin to panic? Well, you know what? Maybe they would. I mean, a lot of people would. But you know what? That's what regular flu kills every year around the world. 100,000 people. So
good point.
Yeah.
So I mean,
250,000.
You know,
250,000 alone in China.
What have we
get the flu?
And what have we seen so far? Exactly. You're saying annually 250,000 every year in China get the flu?
250,000 get infected with the flu during the normal flu season, at least 50,000 die. During the normal flu season.
Right. Oh, geez. So the whole thing it's like, okay, all right, little reality check here for you folks. Reality check sandwich.
Yep.
But all right.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
it's gonna blow over. You know, your gut feeling already told you.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Mitchell Gerber, on the other hand, he's like total hitting the panic button there in a big way. He's getting other kind of forms of information that are, setting him on edge.
When they start tying zombie, like a blood everywhere in the face, blood red eyes, and start coming out. And of course, people is going to associate with that. It's all the preparation of our mind.
Yeah, Robert. What was it? Robert Morningstar did a pretty good job of that recently, didn't he? With some of the graphics he was adding. It's like, gee, Robert.
Oh my goodness!
I keep on telling him that is a fear porn.
Yeah.
The guy who writing it, the way he write it, it's just like me going off as CCP.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, folks, that about does it. I got to head out, or I've got to actually get to the pharmacy. I'm not sure if there's any. I actually got to hook up with my drug dealer to be quite honest. So.
All right, no worries.
Well,
man.
I mean that's their job. That's their job is these pharmacists or the doctors. They write the prescriptions out and deal with those drugs. So exactly.
Well,
You want some meat?
Make sure you wear your mask.
Yeah. Well,
You better wear your mask.
nah, there's not going to be much mask wearing on my part. Trust me. So, if I'm in a mall,
It's a pretty major expansion in South Korea now.
if I'm
here is so racist, all the Chinese wouldn't go out. They stay home, because when they go out, everyone just stay away from them.
Wow.
It's really bad.
Yeah, and how about just all Asians? Because you know how bloody stupid Europeans are. they look at these Asian people like, you're all Chinese. You're all Chinese now. They're all these awful yellow people, as Alex Jones put it. So yeah, whatever. Okay, and Alex, that's just
Say people.
you try to
Say people, man.
we'll just leave it there. Like, enough of the
I have no
goofiness.
beef with that. I mean, I just want to tell people. Just because your parent, someone's parents adopt, Asian kind of kids, it doesn't mean their son is not already, I'm not saying racist, but this, you watch movie and always the Japanese, the Chinese, they all look cook, they all look stupid, and with the weird accent, and all that, you know what I mean?
You say you say you don't have beef. You don't have beef with that.
I don't have no beef with him.
Hey, you don't
I
have
hope
beef?
him well.
If I had beef with that, it'd be beef chow mein. Okay, that'd be it. The beef chow mein, and we'd be done. We'd be fine.
You can speak Chinese.
I speak Chinese. I speak Chinese so well. Very good. Hey, you know why Chinese chicken cross? Why did Chinese chicken cross the road?
Why?
It was just standing on the wrong side.
I bet you say fly lies too.
Yeah. You should see the fun I have with my Korean wife.
Oh, you have a. Oh, no wonder. I was always assuming that you must have someone in your family that's Korean.
Yeah, well,
local,
some people think that, but the accent's a little different. We'll pick up on this a little more. We'll have more fun with the Korean accent when we have Esther Koo drop by on March 3rd, so 4th here in Asia, of course. So, all right, and the Korean accent definitely a little bit different than Chinese, but I've definitely got to head out to the pharmacist right now. Everything. You say that again one more time. Anyang what? Anyang has it? Anyang.
Yep. Anyang haseyo.
Yeah, everything is yo, correct. Yo, mama. So, and yo, everything else. And it's very polite to say yo, right? That's considered chondema. I don't want to get into it now. We could get, like I said. So, but Esther,
so we finish?
Well, pretty much. So we're just going to we're back and forth here a little bit, and we got your channel shut down now. So hang on, though. We're going to just do the outro, launch into things here. You can still hear me, bantering on here pretty much. But I'll get you guys to mute out in the meantime. In fact, once again, I can either do it here or you guys can take care of it on your end. It looks like, seasoned vets here definitely know what they're doing. We will be back, though, this Tuesday. Not sure with who, if anyone, yet exactly. Just play it by ear. Of course, that's an optional kind of thing. Sometimes we do have people drop in for the first hour of our news. segment, other times not. It's been a lot of fun having Rob here. Very informative, of course. Some serious topics. At the same time, I think we managed to share in a few good laughs and look upon the lighter side of things as best we can manage. Hopefully a few of you out there, listeners, have as well. WPRPN.com is the website. You'll want to drop by. Sign up is free. Check out the links in the show description area. Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com is the email address. If you'd like to help us out with PayPal, or you have any show or, for that matter, guest suggestions or ideas. But I do have to head on out of here, and what we'll do is cue up the outro music. Before we do that, though, just let people know that on behalf of Captain Long John Sinclair and all the rest of the crew here aboard the Robin Hood, until we meet again out on the high digital seas, I'm your host, as always, the show's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. Tally-ho!
Aye now, there we be. Having carefully looked over each of our navigation panel instruments, checking every level, switch, dial, cable, knob, and pulley, by all accounts and indications, we indeed see it's time, once again, to drop anchor inside Mystic Bay, draw an end to yet another week of World Pirate Radio Live. Remember, if you're looking for a little more animated online action, keep in mind we've likely got yet another great free-flowing Rogues Gallery after show coming up for the next hour in one of our more premium, exclusive, and remote digital underground online pirate hideaways. Also, if you yourself have a new, novel, intriguing, or otherwise underreported idea, unique individual, or pressing item in mind, be sure to either drop us a line directly over on WPRPN.com or fire us a quick email via Pirate One Radio at ProtonMail.com. We're always open to exploring fresh creative suggestions, intriguing guest ideas, cutting-edge discussion topics, and captivating themes.
Remember, WPRPN.com member site subdomain links are also always available.
Great for artists, musicians, podcasters, bloggers, social media personalities, or pretty much just any old land lover looking to boost their online visibility, presence, and reach. Basic personal profile accounts can be launched for just $60 per year. Staking your claim now helps not only strengthen you and the network, we're also looking out for the little guy. That's right, folks. As much as half of all WPRPN's profits are redirected right back into the hands of the people who really need it most. Community charity. After all, we are the Robin Hood. You can further embark on your own personal pirate journey by either liking, sharing, commenting on, subscribing to, or just following us via virtually any mainstream social media platform, including Twitter, Facebook, Gab, or Minds.com. So don't forget to become engaged. Until we meet again out on the high digital seas, I'm your host as always, the ship's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. Tally-ho.